Dear audience, over the past year, in parallel with the constructions and urban development, the Party Committee and the government of Hoa Thanh have focused on building new rural areas. This is considered as one of the major policies, changing the appearances of the countryside, gradually narrowing the gap between rural and urban areas. After 10 years of implementing new rural construction, Hoa Thanh has become the first district-level localities in the province, which completed the program of building new countrysides for the periods of 2010-2020. Now, let's follow the reporters.
After more than 10 years of implementing the new rural construction program starting in 2010, the people's material and spiritual life has been gradually improved, and essential infrastructure has been invested in and built spaciously. The grassroots political system has been consolidated and operated more and more effectively, which have affirmed the solidarity and high unity of the party committees and authorities at all levels. The consensus, enthusiastic contribution of people from all walks of life, from the town to the grassroots, helping Hoa Thanh complete the program of building new countryside as compared to the resolution of the Town's Party Congress. Through the implementation period, Long Thanh Trung Commune reached the new rural standard in 2014, Long Thanh Bắc Commune reached the standard in 2015, Long Thanh Nam Commune met the standard in 2016, Trường Tây Commune met the standards in 2017, Trường Đông Commune met the standard in 2018, Hiệp Tân and Trường Hoa communes reached the finish line of the new countryside in 2019.
Đạt được các cái thành quả trên á thì
achieving their progress over the past time, we have also mobilized the maximum participation of the entire political system, the effective leadership efforts of the party committees at all levels, departments, branches, units, mobilized internal resources and consensus of the people. We also mobilize and make good use of the resources of the business community as well as sponsors to support this new rural construction process. Programs and plans were developed to lead, direct and organize the implementation. We deploy in a synchronous, effective and drastic manner from the party committee as well as the people's committee and social political organizations. That makes a great contribution to the socio-economic development of Hoa Thanh in the last time, and especially the material and spiritual life of the people is increasingly improved. The construction of socio-economic infrastructure is prioritized to spend a lot of resources to renew the face of the countryside, create momentum for socio-economic development, and increase direct enjoyment for the people. Rural transport development is identified as a breakthrough stage, so investment, renovation, and upgrading should be focused on. The movement to build rural roads and new countryside was unanimously responded by officials, party members, and people. In the 2011-2020 period, the total resources mobilized for the construction of new rural areas in the area were more than 1,500 billion Vietnam dong, in which the central budget is more than 71 billion Vietnam dong, the provincial budget is nearly 271 billion Vietnam dong. The town budget is nearly 61 billion Vietnam dong. The commune budget and integrated capital are more than 443 billion Vietnam dong. Capital from enterprises is nearly 161 billion Vietnam dong. Capital from the contribution of people is more than 146 billion Vietnam dong. Capital from credit institutions is nearly 367 billion Vietnam dong. From the mobilized capital sources, Hoa Thanh has allocated to invest in the construction of rural roads with a total length of nearly 292 kilometers, renovating the physical foundations, cultural institutions of the hamlets, and repairing, upgrading the headquarters of the Commune Builders Committee. Particularly in 2021, the total funding mobilized for the implementation of the new rural construction program was more than 226 billion Vietnam dong. As a result, up to now, Hoa Thanh town has 3 communes of Trường Đông, Trường Tây, and Long Thả Nam, which have been decided by TayNinhTV Provincial Business Committee to meet the advanced new rural standards, reaching 75% of the resolution. The system of schools and classrooms continues to be invested in upgrading, has built 26 new schools and expanded the campus, training ground, auxiliary work, invested in teaching equipment at schools and school sites. Up to now, the material facilities, teaching and learning equipment meet standards, ensuring teaching and learning according to regulations. Hoa Thanh town is interested in investing in infrastructure, cultural material. It has upgraded and built 7 new centers of culture, sports, community learning, and 34 cultural houses. Hamlet sports area. Hamlet cultural houses contribute to meeting the needs of people, cultural activities, and meetings. Market system, rural commercial infrastructure has been upgraded, renovated, and expanded 7 markets to meet people's daily needs and use effectively. Currently, there are 12 agricultural cooperatives located in the area to better meet the needs of people and contribute to socio-economic development and promotion in the town. Regarding the economy and production organization, based on the actual situation of each community, the town focus on directing the planning and formulation of projects in the direction of accelerating the restructuring of crops and livestock according to production and commodity direction, focus on intensive farming to increase crops, fully exploit the landfront to put into production, actively put new high-quality plant varieties into production, put vegetables of all kinds into the field, improve the land use co-efficiency, increase investment, construction, repair, combined with effective management and exploitation of irrigation works, while implement agricultural extension and pest control, attract capital sources to integrate programs and projects, speeding up the restructuring of crops and livestock. Promoting agriculture and forestry extension has been implemented effectively in line with the economic and climatic conditions, the needs of the people of the community, and to support such production development, contributing to rising incomes, eradicating hunger, and reducing poverty sustainably. As a result, the annual food output is constantly increasing. The crop production has increased to 5,700 hectares. The area of other crops has basically reached the target. For the criteria of laborers with regular jobs, the town has directed propaganda to reveal open training classes for rural workers in the town, contributing to bringing the trained labor rate in rural areas to 65.7%. Traditional rural trades such as bamboo and rattan, household carpentry, incense making, and cast iron have been preserved and operated stably, contributing to increasing the income for rural people. People's living standards are increasingly improved, creating new jobs for 2,200 workers every year. Up to now, the per capita income in rural areas in Hoa Thanh area has reached 66 million Vietnam dong per person per year, an increase of 12.5 million Vietnam dong compared to 2019. The rate of multi-dimensionally poor households decreased by 0.15% per year on average. Since Hoa Thanh was recognized as a town and today is recognized as a new rural construction standard, we have seen that everything has grown strongly year by year. We integrate benefits from the policies of the party and state, such as improving people's living standards, enabling people to develop their economy and get rich. In the coming time, we continue to propagate and mobilize dignitaries and people to actively participate in responding to patriotic emulation movements launched by the locality, such as join hands in building a new countryside, a cultural urban, and support social security work associated with religious emulation movements, such as living a good life and being a good religion. Regarding the political system and access to the law, every year the town has a plan to train and improve professional training for qualified commute carriers, consolidating and perfecting the political system to ensure both quantity and quality. Party committees at grassroots levels have active legislated pressing and outstanding issues for discussion within the committees and build them into resolutions and special topics, leading to effective implementation. The coordination between the government, the fatherland, and its member organizations in the implementation of new rural construction is increasingly specific and effective, creating high consensus in the whole political system.
Cái việc xây dựng nông thôn mới đó là cái nền tảng.
The new rural construction is the foundation, a very important basis to strive to build and fulfill the targets and criteria of the city.
Chỉ tiêu, các cái tiêu chí của đô thị.
The party committee and government will continue to focus on leading, directing, and closely monitoring more. Directing with concentration and promoting the advantages of Hoa Thanh, which focuses on doing well planning, developing plans in accordance with reality, and with the advantages of Hoa Thanh connecting with neighboring districts and cities to form one of the economic centers of the province in the coming time. With the efforts and joint efforts of the party committee, authorities at town levels and people in Hoa Thanh, by the end of 2019, Hoa Thanh had 7 out of 7 commutes meeting new rural standards, reaching the finish line 1 year earlier than planned, contributing to making Hoa Thanh the first district-level locality in the province, completing the new rural construction program for the period of 2010-2020.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's all for today's program. Thanks for your attention and goodbye for now.